Hello, I'm Tommy Moore from the Bartitzer Lab, and in this video I wanted to address the notion of gross motor. Now, people in the self-defense, self-protection, combatives community, a lot of people like to talk about gross motor, and it's prolific everywhere. One of my main problems with gross motor is sometimes it is misleading, untruthful, dangerous. When students hear the phrase gross motor, and when gross motor is applied to audiences, people tend to think or believe that that means I don't need to worry about what I'm throwing or where I'm throwing it. It's a big caveman movement. Don't need to worry about it. It's gross motor. All those other pajama wearing arts that we look at, fuck those guys with their fine motor movements. We're gross motor club. Look at our gross motor shit. Well, here's the problem. Let's take a basic strike that a lot of people talk about as being gross motor. Fucking palm, right? If I hit you with this bit of my palm, fuck all happens. This bit, fuck all happens. These bits, fuck all happens. Hit you with my thumb, broken thumb. Hit you with my fingers, broken fingers. Suddenly, if I start to break down the gross motor palm, about £1 worth of real estate is what I'm dealing with. About £1 worth here. This environment here is the useful bit of my palm. It's the tougher, more centralised, more forearm-aligned piece of my palm. And if you're going to hit a motherfucker, then you're probably going to be in a dangerous situation. So you don't want to be hitting him with the other shitty bits of your palm. So an important thing that you need to be thinking about will be, when I say gross motor to a student, am I making them believe that all of this is a useful weapon? And moreover, when I tell them to hit them with the gross motor tool in a broad area, let's take the human face. You'll see people say, oh, just throw a palm strike to the face. Well, there's lots of things to a palm, and as we talked about, the useful bit is actually rather small. There's lots of bits to a fucking face. Take the face. Now, again, we take our pounds, piece of real estate, and we're golden along the jawline. We can start to move into teeth territory here, and not just teeth, but just lack of efficacy. In that if I palm strike you in the teeth, I might break some teeth, but I'm not going to detach you from your consciousness, which is probably what I want to do. Again, along the cheekbones, a palm strike that hits you in the cheek is going to do fuck all. It's going to hurt, it's going to sting a little bit, but it's going to do fuck all. If I palm strike you in the nose, my nose might be a bit owie, but I'll still fucking kill you. Palm strike me in the eye. Might give me a black eye, I'm still going to kill you. Palm strike me along the forehead, I will laugh at you as I stab you to death. So in reality, we take our gross motor tool, which is in reality this small pound size area, and we've got to place it at speed, at velocity, under threat by this motherfucker kicking our ass, into an area that's only a couple of pounds here. You know, we're not looking huge amounts of territory here. You're probably looking at £4 worth of space along the jaw and £1 worth of bullet. So £4 worth of target, £1 worth of bullet. Now, that's not really gross motor per se. The action of going ugh and smashing your palm into someone, that is gross motor. But the more we use that phrase and the more we use that term, the more we make pupils think that you can willy-nilly just jam your palm into a face and it will do the job. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it will absolutely not do the fucking job. So when you are using the term, be very mindful to not, absolutely do not devalue the benefits, the merits, the purpose of accuracy. So whilst the movement of my body might be gross motor, I'm still driving a relatively small object to a relatively small object at speed, under oppression, under fire, under anxiety, under adrenal shock. All of these things will be impacting on my ability to function and my ability to do the job. So try, if you can, please clarify what you mean by gross motor with your pupils and try not to rely on that phraseology because it's unnecessary pseudoscience. Little Timmy that's come to your self-defense class doesn't need to know the difference between fine and gross motor. He just needs to know how to knock a cunt out. So tell little Jimmy, put that bit on this bit and make him fall to sleep. That's what he needs to know. He doesn't need to know all these things, which can be misleading, inaccurate, untruthful, and harmful to a person if they slapdash start thinking palm strike to the face is gross motor, objective done. Look at that. If I manage to do that, fuck all will happen to him. If I do that, fuck all will happen to him. Can only really get it to work properly if I hit him right at the tip of that jaw, or if I come right underneath his jaw with something like a chin jab. It's a small weapon. And then you can apply that to punches. The decent knuckles, we're looking at about £2 worth of area here. Bit of elbow. The useful, sharp, cutting, shredding, evil bastard bit of your elbow is this bit. Yes, you can clobber a daft cunt with this bit, and that's fine. But this is relatively padded. You can do it, but that's what you want to land. So don't lose the importance of accuracy. It's very, very, very important. Now let's find something useful for you guys. Right, if you look at most combative guides, where's the one I'm after? I'm after a specific one for you guys. Right, look at most combative guides. Let's take this World War II guide. Unarmed Action, Handbook for the Home Guard by Mickey Wood, a lightweight wrestling champion. And he's teaching the Home Guard in World War II. And very early doors, what is he talking about? He's talking about where precisely to hit a bastard, with what precisely to hit a bastard with. So before he moves in to his wrestling and before he moves into his striking, he's making it fundamentally clear that accuracy can be the difference between what you feel is gross motor and what is largely ineffectual, and what really is gross motor but still effectual. Your accuracy is important, and the more we use things like gross motor and deny the importance of accuracy, the more we tend students down the wrong garden path. So it's very important for me to, if you've got students, demonstrate things like this. Use a small area and let them know that the useful bits for fighting on your body are often rather small. Your kneecap is only 3 of these, 4 of these big. Point your elbow, 1 or 2 of these. Your knuckles, 1 or 2 of these. Your palm strike, 1 of these. Suddenly you start to pull apart your weapons, and the most useful, beneficial bit is rather small, and the most useful, beneficial target is rather small. So get used to accuracy. Do drills that improve your accuracy. Do drills that improve your placement. The more specific and accurate you can be in your training, and the more you move away from this notion of gross motor. The movement of your body can be gross motor, but the tool is not. And the placement of the tool is not. And often those terms are used interchangeably. It becomes a lazy catch-all to say, all the Asian dudes, all the typical martial arts, they're doing weird shit that you can't pull off. And all the combatives guys, they're going, ah, 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 tactical look. If you do a tactical look, you're a fucking knob. It's pointless. It's for the range. It's so you don't shoot people on the range. It's fuck all to do with anything else. Don't do a tactical knob. Don't do a tactical look. You're a knobhead. Anyway, enough of that. But if you get into the habit of just growling, wearing skull t-shirts and just mashing big objects with a non-specific part of your body, that's fine when you got your bullet man on and you got your Spartan suit on and you growl a little bit and people make you do 20 press-ups and a couple of burpees and spin and you're all having a laugh. But at the end of the day, that's not fighting. It's a drill, and you can get away with it, and people tend to collapse and fold. I find, especially in things like Krav Maga and other reality-based systems, people will take a couple of hits in their padded suit, fold over, allow themselves to be duffed up a little bit, and the drill moves on. Whereas in other areas, fighting back is very, very important. Not just wiggling and growling and swearing, but fighting back in earnest. That's very, very important. But in either way, the thing I wanted to talk about was being very careful with how, where, and why you use the phrase gross motor, and really take the time to consider how much importance you are putting on accuracy when you're speaking to your students. Certain tools are only good for certain weapons. In the same way, I can achieve results. I can break wood in 2 with a hammer, but it's going to take a long time and it's going to be awkward. Or I can chop it in 2 very cleanly and quickly with an axe, or I can saw it in 2 very quickly with a saw. A lot of tools have very specific purposes, and that's very much the same for combatives and martial arts. So never confuse gross motor with things that aren't inaccurate. If you want to put this on a cunt like this, in a place like this, at speed and under duress, you need to train for that, and you need to think with a target-first methodology. And you need to train to be as accurate as possible so that under duress, the margins for error, whilst they grow, you've trained in such a way that your accuracy is very on point. If you train in a broad, gross motor way, just palm strike him in the face. If you train with that methodology, the strike that would have hit his face is going to hit bumfuck nowhere. So again, to quote Patriot, aim small, miss small. Aim small, be targeted, have intention for where you want to put your tool on a target. It really does matter. So if I were you personally, I would fuck off the term gross motor. I would start to talk more in the terms of accuracy, timing, distance, and use those alongside your principles to be as successful as possible. That's my rant on gross motor, and if you don't like it, suck my ginger balls. Good day.